What's up, everybody? Welcome back once again to your boy's channel. You already know who it is, back with a brand new video. Yes, I'm out and about doing another car video, man. It's such a beautiful day out here in these Texas streets, so I wanted to enjoy it. So, we got to talk about Marvel, man. We got to talk about the MCU because things have not been going good with this brand for quite some time. You know, they released the new trailer for Fantastic Four First Steps, I believe, 3 or 4 days ago. Thank you for everybody who watched the my reaction. But it's like, man, nobody is excited about this movie. Not even the appearance of Galactus is getting people excited about this movie. And it's pretty crazy, man. You know, everybody's debating, talking about the Fantastic Four of this year, the Silver Surfer. And the Silver Surfer, I believe, from the 2007 or 2008 film. I can't remember exactly which year it came out. The one with Norman Reed. And people have been going back and forth about the CGI and how each of the CGIs, you know, they look different. You know, which one looks better. Everybody, at least a lot of people have been saying that the CGI from the 2007 movie looks better than the one that we're getting in this year. I don't think this one looks bad. You know, I think it definitely has a little more shine to it. But, you know, we'll have to wait and see when the movie drops. But the thing is, you can't slap a Marvel logo on these movies anymore and expect people to be excited to go see them. You can't. Marvel, y'all brand is hurting, man. It's been hurting. You know, whether it's been y'all rushing movies, whether y'all been rushing the production team, whether y'all been rushing to get the CGI done, the special effects, everything y'all have been doing so far has been hurting the Marvel brand. And you can't just slap a MCU logo over the front of these movies and expect fans to want to go see them. Especially nowadays, man, because it feels like either it's fan fatigue going on with these Marvel movies. And the same thing could be said about DC, but even though that's a different story with all the stuff they had going on. Or it could just be the fact that, you know, y'all don't have a direction. And I've talked about that a lot. The lack of direction, in my personal opinion, I feel like is hurting the MCU. Like I said, when you go back and you look at the first Avengers film all the way to Endgame, they had a direction. Nowadays, they lack a direction. You know, they tried to go with this whole Kang the Conqueror storyline, right? But then that fell apart because of Jonathan Majors' legal issues. And so then they had to pivot and say, okay, we'll bring back Robert Downey Jr. And then, you know, he's coming through not as Iron Man, but as Dr. Doom, which I'm sure is going to be interesting because I do wonder, is he going to be looked at as, you know, Iron Man, aka Robert Downey Jr. to his former teammates, or is he going to look like somebody else entirely? I'm pretty sure he's going to look like, you know, the first option, as his old teammate to his team, but not, you know what I'm saying here, and not to, you know, whatever. Okay, I'm fumbling over my words here. The point I'm trying to make here is that the MCU is hurting. And the superhero movie genre is hurting. You know, Marvel at one point felt like nothing could go wrong. Sure, they had some movies that were hits, they had some movies that were misses, but it felt like, in the grand scheme of things, nothing that Marvel had dropped over, you know, the past 10 years, it felt unbeatable. But something finally did beat Marvel, and it was basically Marvel. I've said it time and time again. They need to take their time with these movies. They need to take time and tell stories that is going to get fans attached and care. You can't just release anything and expect fans to jump up and go see it. Whether it's an MCU movie or an MCU TV show, fans are, you know, they're smart. You know, fans are smart, and they're going to support what it is that they like. And if they feel like something is a problem, then obviously they're not going to support it. And currently, it's a problem because nobody is excited about this Fantastic Four movie. You have the recent comments made by Johnny Storm saying that he's not going to be like this womanizer like the past incarnations of this character, played by Michael B. Jordan and Chris Evans. And then you have Sue Storm with this woman politics. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, the main thing to me is when you go to the movies, I've said this plenty of times, when you go to the movies, you go for it to be an escape from reality. And the fact of the matter is, we don't need actual real life, you know, issues going on in the real world placed in the movie. Even though I know this takes place in, I believe, you know, a real life actual city. I believe it's in New York or something like that. But the main part is that it's a movie that we are trying to see to escape from the real world, from our real world, you know, problems. And lately, Marvel just hasn't really given us anything that has got fans, you know, just wanting to go to the theater to see these properties. Daredevil Born Again was cool. I did like it. You know what I'm saying? I was a little disappointed with the cliffhanger, but I'm curious to see what they're gonna do with, you know, the next season. So it got me enough curious to see what they're gonna do. There's something else. Marvel has coming out, I believe it's coming out in June, which is Ironheart. And this is one of those TV shows I believe that should have dropped maybe last year, the year before that. And we have heard hardly anything. Now, at least from what Google was telling me, it's supposed to come out on the 25th of this year. But we've hardly heard anything about this TV show. And it just shows you a lack of faith that Marvel has in this Ironheart property. I didn't understand the whole Power Ranger suit that Ironheart wore, aka Riri Williams, had on in the Black Panther Wakanda Forever film. I didn't get that, didn't like it. So I know they're gonna do something better with this one. But the fact that there hasn't been a whole lot of marketing for this thing, there hasn't been a whole lot of, actually, excuse me, there's been zero talk about this thing. It shows you the lack of faith that Marvel may have in this property. And it just leaves me disappointed, man, because I want Marvel to be great. I want Marvel to, you know, to go back to that great place that they used to be in. And this is where I say they need to take time with their movies, with making them, with the TV show, making them. Like, really make sure they got a full script, make sure they got a full story, make sure they got all their ducks in a row. You know what I'm saying? Instead of just releasing stuff and then still trying to finish the script before the show or the movies have ended, and then just throwing anything out there, because it is leaving fans pissed off, disappointed, not want to go to the theaters. Some of the movies, I mean, very questionable. Obviously, you look at Thor, Love and Blunder, that was probably the most questionable movie in the history of the MCU. I mean, it was worse than the second Thor, and I can hardly remember that movie. But that movie was straight hot trash garbage, okay? Marvel, y'all got to pick it up. Y'all gotta go back in time, man. Revisit your history and see what made y'all great and try and get back to that great place. Or at least something close to it. I know y'all may not get to that great place again, because obviously another issue is the fact that they've had trouble building a lot of new stars, because you know, they've had to go back and get some stars from the past years, such as Robert Downey Jr. and Chris Evans, to try to come back and bring fans back from the past 10, 12, 13 years, however long the MCU's been going on, to, you know, bring back that nostalgic feel, even though it's going to be, you know, a huge difference with Robert Downey Jr., but to bring back that feel of, okay, we got these guys back. Also, you know, you got the Russo brothers directing these two Avengers movies. So it's like Marvel has had trouble trying to get somebody new to lead the charge. They tried to find every director under the sun to lead the charge, to direct the next two Avengers films, or at least one of them, I think, and they couldn't do that. There was a struggle. Every time you turn around, it was a report of a director dropping. So it's been hard for Marvel to, you know, get these new stars that are the heroes of today. The Spider-Mans, the Captain America, the you know, Captain Marvel, Miss Marvel. It is hard for them to have them pick up the baton from Iron Man, from Thor, from Captain America, and say, okay, it's y'all's turn now. It's y'all's turn now to lead the charge. They're having trouble for whatever reason getting them to take the you know, the baton or the torch, you know what I'm saying? And unfortunately, it's just making for them to have to go back and grab the stars of yesteryear and have them step up and come back and play the characters once more. You know what I'm saying? Whether they want to or not, or whether Marvel threw a big enough check at them to do it, who knows? But it's been hard for Marvel lately, and I don't know what it's gonna take. I don't know what it's gonna take, man. Maybe Kevin Feige need to step down. Maybe somebody else need to step in. Maybe he need to co-head like what they got over there at DC, but a co-head creative so he can take some of the pressure off him. You know what I'm saying? Who knows? Anyway, post your comments down below. Let me know what you think of my thoughts on the current state of the MCU. Catch you on my next video. Thank you all for watching. Like, comment, subscribe. Let's get this channel to 4,000 watch hours and 2,000 subscribers. Peace. I'm out.